And good morning, greetings, good afternoon, and good evening, wherever you happen to be in the world. It is Wednesday, the 27th of October, and this is actually a significant date for me. Well, I'll share with you that. I'll share that with you in just a minute. I'm Glen Henderson, and welcome to the John Lavenia Success Mastermind. We get together here several times a week and share our insights and our wisdom, what's working for us these days and why it works. And so we build each other up and encourage one another. Now, first of all, order of business. The schedule for today, you're in the general session. Hospitality Suite is coming up right after this. Then this evening, our good friend Mandy Anderson will be hosting us in Books for Britain. That's at 3 p.m. Eastern, and then at 6 p.m. Eastern, Adrian Garner, the good professor, will be back and sharing with us some life and business tools. Good to see you, Daisy, again. And Linda, we know that Linda is here with us in spirit. She's on the job, so the camera and the microphone are on pause, but she can hear us, and glad to have you with us. Now, I said that today is a significant date, October 27th, 2021, which today would have been my father's 100th birthday. May he rest in peace. Yes, Dad was born October 20th. There's actually an interesting story behind that. He was born October 27th. He always knew that his birthday was October 27th. When he turned 65, when it got to his 65th birthday, he went to apply for Social Security and everything, and all the benefits, and was told by the person there in the office, "Sorry, Mr. Henderson, we can't seem to find any record of you." Wait, what? You can't find what? Like I don't exist? Pretty strange, right? So they went back and did a little more research and discovered. You see, Dad had always given his date of birth as October 27th, 1922. And so he went back and gave them that. "Oh, I'm sorry, Mr. Henderson, we can't seem to find any record of you." So they went all over the place and did some research and found that in the county records there in Lawrence County, South Carolina, where he had been born, there was a tradition back in those days, back in the 20s and in the days before before the Great Depression and the Jim Crow days of the South and the agricultural, primarily agricultural society that he grew up in. His dad was actually a sharecropper, I believe. His dad and grandfather was a sharecropper, and in that time, kids or families had give birth to lots of babies, but because of circumstances and disease and all sorts of things that could happen, it was traditional that a newborn baby would not be, you ready for this? Would not be named or entered into official records until that child had passed 1 year of age. And so, from his actual birth date of October 27th, 1921, until October 27th of 1922, my father, Otis Henderson, was known in the family records as the baby. Who knew? So he finally went back and got it resolved, and he added another year to his life, which was kind of interesting. And so, yes, today, according to official records, today would have been my dad, Otis Henderson's 100th birthday. Happy birthday in heaven, Dad. Much missed and well remembered. And Lindsay is here. What's happening?
That happened to my grandmother too.
Is that right? Well,
So
see, there you go.
born in, it was December, but it was 1919, and It was actually 1918 she was born.
between 1919 and 1918. Gotcha. I see.
Yeah.
So a year
I really,
appears out of a year appears out of nowhere.
yeah, and
Um,
I really don't remember which one it actually. I don't remember which way it went. I remember
uh,
we thought forever because that was resolved before I was born. But she was 94, I
mhm.
believe, when she passed. But
Okay.
yeah. So
Okay.
but it was a year off. It
How do
was.
you like?
Yeah.
And as it turns out, we came to learn that that sort of thing happened in those days far more frequently than we actually were originally led to understand. But hey, one of those sort of fun facts. Now, today's topic is actually a little difficult for me. In fact, because it's, or shall we say, a bit embarrassing. I'm going to tell a tale on myself. What our friend John first referred to, and Mark Riggle and I now kind of jokingly refer to as a damaging admission. There is a term in marketing, in internet marketing, where you tell a tale on yourself. It's kind of like talking about a success principle of some sort, goal setting or mindset or persistence or whatever it might be, and illustrating the power and the truth of behind the principle by telling a story about how at one point in my life I didn't live up to that principle. Right? Like, I know this is true because I screwed it up. And then when I figured it out, how much better things were. How much better my results got. Right? So, I got called out recently by a mentor of mine who, in the most friendly way possible, I didn't get yelled at or called names or anything, but he basically said to me, okay, you said you were going to do this certain thing. Are you ready to go or no? You going to do it or not? And boy, how I like to sometimes talk about getting punched in the face by our good friend John? Well, this guy, in a very friendly and brotherly fashion, punched me in the face. And you know what? I had it coming. Because, yes, I had said I was going to do a certain thing, and it didn't get done as and when I said it was going to get done. No excuses. I'm not going to now say because this, that, and the other, and I blah blah blah, blah the circumstances and no excuses. I'll tell you what happened. Changed a habit of mine. I ended up incorporating something into my schedule that I hadn't put into my calendar before, so that I wouldn't forget in the future to do it, so that there would be no excuse, no reason to miss it. And so, in that particular case, me getting called out on my failure to keep my word actually was beneficial to me, because it made the difference in my getting myself back on track, if that makes sense, and getting back to actually doing what I had committed myself to do in this circumstance. And I've seen the difference, and I saw a difference in results immediately, as soon as I got back on the beam and got back to work. So this may not be a very long discussion today, but there's a couple of things that occur to me around this whole topic, and I know this has never ever happened to anyone else on this call. You never ever dropped the ball or failed to do something that you had committed to do, or sort of not kept your word to yourself. Never happened to you, right? I understand. This guy. But for those people you know, those other people over there who dropped the ball and who needed to get called out by a friend, by a coach, by a mentor, a couple of things occur to me. Number one, probably the most beneficial part of this whole process for me was that I actually had a mentor to call me out. That I'd actually entered into an agreement with somebody and given that person permission to hold me accountable to my word, to hold me accountable to my commitments. There's a sort of a trilogy of friendships that's described in the old Christian good book, the Bible, and it's taken from the example of St. Paul and his relationship with three guys. The three guys are, let me see if I got this right. One's Silas, one's Barnabas, and one's Timothy. So these three guys, Paul and his three buddies, Silas, Barnabas, and Timothy. If I got the name right, please correct me. So to Silas, Paul was a mentor. All right? He shared his knowledge and wisdom and everything and with Silas, and was able to help Silas grow and improve his own spiritual walk and become a better person and a stronger man. So Paul had that kind of mentoring relationship with with Timothy. That's who it was, with Timothy. Now, Silas was Paul's mentor. Now, you're going to go back and look it up and correct me, and it's fine. Paul was Silas's protege because, as Paul was coming up in the faith and in his work and everything, he kind of looked to Silas and sought to emulate him and so forth. And he got a lot of coaching and counseling and stuff from Silas and eventually grew into his own mission and ministry and everything. And he was able to get that help from Silas. And then there was Barnabas. Barnabas, and we all have one of these. I know ladies have them. Every woman I know has a Timothy type of friend. You know who I'm talking about. The friend who loves you, who's got your back, but who isn't particularly impressed with you. You know what I mean? Who knows all your stuff. She loves you, greatest friend in the world, but every now and then she'll like, hey, wait a minute, girl. What's going on? You said you were going to do this. I thought you said you were going to, right? You ever got a friend like that? Somebody who loves you enough to hold you accountable to your word. And that's this guy for me, this mentor for me. Please make sure that as you go through your career, as you seek to achieve your goals, and that as you seek to pay forward the coaching that you get from other people, you want to make sure you have these three types of friends. One, someone that you look up to, someone from whom you receive coaching, guidance, a mentor. Get yourself a mentor. Some people have more than one. I have more than one. Fine. Whichever you want. One, you want several. It's up to you. Just make sure that you always have someone that you can go to with a question. Someone whose advice you trust. The reason I was able to receive, the reason I chose to receive this punch in the face from my buddy is because I trust him. He's done what it is I want to do. And so I trust him. I have confidence in his advice and his coaching to me to get that job done, to get that project done. Second, get yourself a protege. Get yourself somebody, connect yourself with someone into whom you can pour yourself, into whom you can pour the things that you've learned, the experiences that you've had, the lessons that you've taken, both easy and hard, so that they can benefit from your wisdom. And yes, you have got some wisdom, whether you think you do or not, because you've experienced some stuff. And you've gone through some things, both good and bad, which, by the way, I'm a great believer. As time goes by and I gain more and more experience, you notice I don't use the O word. As time passes and I gain more and more experience and wisdom, I have come to the conclusion that almost nobody learns anything from victory. Or at the very least, our greatest, most powerful, and most lasting life lessons come from defeats, from failures, from setbacks. So get yourself a protege, and don't be afraid to share with them some of the ways that you've screwed it up over the years. One of the things it'll do for them is help them to understand that it's okay to screw it up. As a matter of fact, we've said it before, failure is not an obstacle on the road to success. Failure is the road to success. And people need to understand that. Your protege needs to understand that. So get yourself a protege and pour yourself in. And then get yourself one of them friends. Third, get yourself one of those friends who loves you but isn't going to put up with your shit. And will hold you accountable to what you said you're going to do. And you can, with someone with whom you can laugh about it later. Does that make sense? We got the idea of the three friends that we all need in our life. And it's usually best, I have found, it's usually best if these three friends are three separate people. It's not fair to expect that depth of connection, of communication, all from one person. Nobody should have that kind of burden placed on them. So, get yourself a mentor, get yourself a protege, and get yourself a buddy that don't take no guff, not even off you. I think you'll find, as I am finding, that having those three groups of people, those three types of friends, keeps me accountable, keeps me on the straight and narrow, keeps me clear-headed in exactly where my focus needs to be in life, exactly what I need to do more of and what I need to let go of in terms of my personal habits and personal disciplines, and helps me stay inspired to keep moving forward. So now we've got to think of a title for this conversation, because John always liked to put a title. Well, I'll give it some further thoughts. What do you think? Have you got one of these friends? I'm particularly interested in hearing about your buddy, the one who don't take no guff off you, the one who doesn't listen to your excuses, one doesn't want to hear it. But man, you know the kind of person that you go vent and moan and groan to them, and they say, "Man, don't nobody want to hear about your problems. Get back to work." I heard a story once about a husband and wife, actually, where the wife had decided to launch a direct sales business, a network marketing business from working from home, and her husband was 100% supportive. of her. He was a little skeptical, about the business side of it, whether it was actually going to work, the type of product, service, whatever it was, the opportunity. But he was 100% behind his wife. You know what I mean? And so he said, he said, well, I'm not sure about it, honey, but listen, if this is what you want to do, I'm with you 100%. I've got your back. And so she went to work, and a couple of times, now this was a woman who had been very successful, who was very successful in her corporate career. And then she got started with this business along with her regular job, alongside regular. I never, ever, ever advise someone to quit their job and go directly into a home business. It doesn't usually make economic sense. But anyway, that's another topic for another day. So she got to work building her business from home, a day at a time, a month at a time, and so forth. And of course, as will happen, these things get frustrating, and you run into obstacles and speed bumps and setbacks and everything else. And she, at one point, got to really, really complaining to her husband. And I mean, just went on an absolute rant about how this was going wrong and that was going wrong, and people weren't calling her back, and she wasn't getting the results, and this, that, and the other, and then, oh, I don't know what I'm going to do, and this. And her husband kind of sat and listened to her for a while. And he listened. And after she was done, after he had given her enough time, all the time she needed for her complete thought to flow out, after he had given her time to vent, he said, what are you doing? What are all, and you'll pardon my French, John's going to have to edit this one again. What are all these BS excuses I'm hearing from you? You're an intelligent woman. You're a successful businesswoman. You know what to do. You know how to do X, Y, and Z. You knew this was going to be hard. You knew this was going to be a challenge. You knew it wasn't all going to be beer and Skittles. What the hell are you complaining about? This is the gig, honey. This is what you signed up for. Now get up and dust your knees off and get your ass back to work. I love you. And you know what? She got up, she dusted her knees off, she said, I love you too, honey, went back to work and built a tremendously successful and lucrative business over the next few years. And I have to believe that a major component in her success, in her continuing success, was the fact that her husband, remember what he said, he backed her, he supported her wholeheartedly, completely in building the business, and he didn't allow her to wallow in her excuses. Now my book, that's love. That's love. That is real, true support. And I pray for every one of us and hope for every one of us to have that kind of friend. Because it's absolutely, to have somebody who absolutely believes in you and believes in you so much that they refuse to accept your excuses. That's powerful stuff. And I wish that kind of supportive friend for every last one of us. In fact, I think that may be the most important of the three. Mentor, protege, buddy. No excuses, no BS, buddy. Might be the most important of all three. What do you think? Love to hear from you. Who are your three? If you care to mention the name. I do know that there is one mentor that all of us have in common. For reasons of privacy, I'd rather not mention his name, but his initials are John Lavenia. Lindsay, what do you say, my friend? What's going on in the mind of the money mama?
I think that's spot on. You need to have all three of them. And my friend that my no bullshit buddy, she moved out of state.
Mm-hmm.
But still, I don't talk to her as much, but
Mm-hmm.
when I do, she'll like set me straight really quick. And I've always respected that about her. I worked for her when
Mm-hmm.
I was in college. I was her nanny, and she was like that when I was in college. She's like, "What's wrong with you? Get up, go do it. You know you can. Just." And she was like, I don't know. She's just got this like no crap. She doesn't
Mm-hmm.
take. Like, hey, you didn't finish this. You said you were going to. What
What's
happened?
up?
Yeah.
What exactly? What happened?
What happened? You're dropping the ball and it's not cool and I don't like it. It's. I mean,
Wow.
she's like really. I mean, we had some like tough moments because.
I bet you have too. I bet you've wanted to punch her in the nose more than once.
Uh-huh, yeah, I have. But I
But
love her. I love when anything happens. I call her first because
mm-hmm. You may have
um,
wanted to punch her in the nose, but you knew she was right.
she's never steered me wrong. I mean,
How
I've
about that?
learned she's never steered me wrong. So I don't
What
know.
a difference that's made for you, huh?
It has. I mean, I wish we were closer so I could see her more.
Mm-hmm.
And we haven't talked as much in a while, but we need to catch up, I think.
There you go. Excellent. See, you know, you've seen the effect in your own life of someone who loves you enough to hold you accountable.
Hmm.
It's a big deal
It is a big
because
deal.
most people are not willing to have that tough conversation,
Yeah.
and it's priceless to have somebody like that in your life. Hey, here's Mandy Anderson, our friend of the books for Britain. Nice to see you. And Edward, it's always nice. And Sandy's here. It's nice, always good to see people consistently showing up in aid of their own success. That's a big thing, and I'm a the more again the more time passes and I get to know a little bit more about myself and other people, I more and more I'm convinced of the truth of the saying that I heard years ago from some celebrity who said 90% of success is just showing up. Was it 90%, 80, 50%? Well, anyway, it doesn't matter. Whole huge chunk of success is just showing up. Because if sooner or later a pearl of wisdom drops into my brain, and maybe it just kind of sits there and percolates for a while, and then I will find myself implementing that principle, consistency, for example. Make one more phone call in a day. Make one more phone call. And then the next day, make one more phone call. And stick to it until you begin to see the results that you're looking for. Something like that I only picked up on by hanging around, and continually listening in to the words, the principles, the strategies that are being shared by the leaders on a call like this. So, congratulations to you, to all of us, for showing up. A good friend of mine, and it really plays out in relationships too. We're on to a second topic now, aren't we? This is cool. I have a friend named Gordon Hester, who you can look him up, by the way. He's a big time dude in the network marketing profession. Gordon Hester. He once said, and I quote him on this, and I actually created a social media meme post with a picture and everything. And his quote was, "You can pretend to care, but you can't pretend to show up." That's pretty good, right? Please feel free to steal it. You can pretend. Let me see if I can find, while I'm over here running my mouth, let me see if I can find the thing that I created, the picture that I created around that. Let me see. Yep, there it is. I'm going to show this to you. It's so cool. And if you want this, a copy of this, let me know, and I'll email or I'll shoot it on over to you. I'm going to share my screen. Where is it? Uh-oh. Can I share? Oh, you know what? I don't think I can. Anyway, I'll put the link, or if you want to see it, reach out to me and I'll send you the picture. It's pretty cool. You'll have one, Lindsay? Alrighty then. Remember, in the words of my good friend Gordon Hester, you can pretend to care, but you can't pretend to show up. So who do you know? Who in your life needs you to show up for them this week? Oh, I know. So I'll be showing up for that person this week. By the way, don't forget, Wealth Wednesday today. Don't forget. Remember Wealth Wednesday? Remember Wealth? Okay. Who can recite for me the definition of Wealth Wednesday? Anyone? Bueller? Lindsay, you're up. Wealth Wednesday. Talk to me.
Do something money-wise for someone without letting them know about it.
Bingo.
Financially.
Give this woman a gold star. Yes. Perform a random, pay it forward. Yes, Linda. Specifically, perform a random act of kindness originated, as far as I know, by my friend Ray Higdon. Perform a random act of kindness for a complete stranger involving a financial exchange. As we say, pay for the person behind you in the drive-thru, person behind you in the toll booth. Swing by your supermarket. Drop a $5 bill in a box of diapers. I like to slip a bill underneath the lid of a can of baby formula. I've heard of people going to Goodwill. One of my wife's favorite. Go to Goodwill, go to the children's section, slip a $5 bill in the pocket of a baby jacket. I have gone as far as to go on Venmo, Cash App, and send somebody $10 anonymously. You can do that. Send anonymous $10, $5 or $10 to somebody on one of the cash transfer apps, one of the money transfer apps. Maybe with a little note. Hope this brightens your day. Happy Wealth Wednesday. Done. Couple of reasons to do this. Number one reason is entirely selfish. It'll make you feel good. And there's not a thing in the world wrong with that. It'll make you feel good. Number two, it raises the vibration between you and that person. Even though they don't know who you are, it might brighten their day. You never know who you're cheering up, who you're encouraging to keep going. I have heard of stories of somebody who literally was ready to do the Dutch, as the old saying used to go, and because they had given up on life, they'd given up on humanity. They were so despairing of people that they were ready to go out, ready to take it out. But because somebody paid for their coffee in the morning, they figured out that, hey, you know what? Not everybody's bad. Maybe there is some good in some people somewhere. And maybe there's a little hope that my life could get a little better. And they kept going. And they kept on. So you never know whose life you're going to affect in a positive way. And think about this. Take a minute and post about the Wealth Wednesday act you performed. Why? Toot your own horn? Suppose you post a little comment about something you did. Maybe take a picture of you slipping the $5 bill in the baby diaper box or whatever, right? Post a picture on social. What if your Wealth Wednesday act inspires one other person to perform a random act of kindness for a complete stranger involving a financial exchange? Now you've got 2 Wealth Wednesdays. And maybe that person inspires somebody. And then one of them inspires a couple of people. Ray Higdon has said, and I agree, if we have enough people performing Wealth Wednesday acts, thousands, think of it, thousands, tens of thousands of people performing Wealth Wednesday acts all over the country, around the world, we could literally raise the vibration of this planet. Because why not? So, get yourself your 3 friends. It's Wealth Wednesday. Don't forget. Remember yours. And in the words of my friend Gordon, you can pretend to care, but you can't pretend to show up. So show up for somebody this week. Come on back next Wednesday. Love to hear about your Wealth Wednesday act and how your week went, showing up for people. Yes, a copy of the meme for Lindsay, copy of the meme for Linda, and for Mandy. You got it coming. Have a great Wednesday. Make the rest of your... Oh, but don't forget. Mandy Henderson, our good friend, 3 p.m. Eastern Time, Books for Britain, and this evening, 6 p.m., the good Professor Adrian Garner, the official wisest man in the room. There you go. 6 p.m., Life and Business Tools with Adrian. Have a phenomenal day. Enjoy, live long and prosper. My friends, we'll see you soon. Bye for now.